Today, we're diving into the world of cinema to uncover some of the biggest box office disasters that were so catastrophic, they bankrupted their studios. First up, we're heading back to 1980, a time when shoulder pads were high and the budget for a Western could reach astronomical heights. Enter Heaven's Gate, a film so epic, so ambitious, that it made even Cleopatra blush. Directed by Michael Cimino, fresh off his Oscar win for The Deer Hunter, this movie had it all. A star-studded cast, lavish sets, and a director with a grand vision. But here's the thing about grand visions. They often come with even grander price tags. Instead, it became a cautionary tale of Hollywood excess, spiraling out of control faster than a runaway stagecoach. The film's failure sent shockwaves through Hollywood, effectively sinking the once mighty United Artists studio. Ahoy mateys, we're setting sail for 1995 with Cutthroat Island, a pirate adventure so epically disastrous it would make Captain Jack Sparrow reach for a stiff drink. Picture this, Gina Davis, Hollywood's reigning queen of action-adventure, starring as a fierce pirate captain on a quest for buried treasure. Sounds like a recipe for box office gold, right? Well, add in a troubled production, a revolving door of directors, and a budget that ballooned to a then unheard-of $98 million, and you've got yourself a recipe for disaster. Cutthroat Island was supposed to be Carolco Pictures' big comeback, a swashbuckling spectacle that would put them back on the map. Instead, it became their swan song, plagued with problems from the start. Despite Davis's best efforts, Cutthroat Island sank at the box office, becoming one of the biggest financial flops in cinematic history. We're blasting off to 2002 when Eddie Murphy was riding high on Shrek and Dr. Dolittle 2. But even the biggest stars face box office bombs. Case in point, The Adventures of Pluto Nash, a sci-fi comedy that landed with a thud. Murphy stars as Pluto Nash, a former smuggler turned nightclub owner on the moon. Sounds promising, right? But with a convoluted plot, forgettable characters, and flat jokes, it was a recipe for disaster. Instead of a blockbuster, it became a cautionary tale. Hold on to your horned helmets, folks, because we're traveling back to 976 AD with The 13th Warrior, a historical action film that proved that even Vikings and cannibals can't save a movie from box office doom. Based on Michael Crichton's novel, Eaters of the Dead, this movie had all the makings of a hit Antonio Banderas as an exiled Arab poet who joins forces with a band of Viking warriors to battle a mysterious enemy. Sounds epic, right? Well, add in a troubled production, extensive reshoots, and a final cut that differed significantly from the director's vision, and you've got yourself a recipe for disaster. The 13th Warrior was supposed to be a thrilling adventure, a gritty and visceral portrayal of Viking culture. Instead, it became a muddled mess, grossing a paltry $61 million worldwide against a budget of $160 million. Buckle up, gamers, because we're entering the digital realm with Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within, a film that proved that even groundbreaking animation and a beloved video game franchise can't guarantee box office success. Released in 2001, this CGI extravaganza was touted as the future of animation, a visual marvel that would push the boundaries of what was possible on screen. And visually, it was stunning. But here's the thing about groundbreaking animation. It's expensive. Really, really expensive. Final Fantasy. The Spirits Within cost a whopping $137 million to produce, making it the most expensive video game adaptation ever made at the time. Despite its groundbreaking animation, Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within bombed at the box office, grossing a mere $85 million worldwide. The film's failure was a major blow to Square Pictures, the film production subsidiary of video game giant Square Company, Limited. Saddle up, partners, because we're heading to the Wild West with The Lone Ranger, a film that proved that even Johnny Depp in a weird bird headdress and Armie Hammer with a questionable moral compass couldn't save this runaway train from derailing at the box office. Disney had high hopes for this big-budget reboot of the classic Western franchise. They poured over $215 million into the production, hoping to recapture the magic of their Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. But instead of striking gold, they ended up with a whole lot of fool's gold. The Lone Ranger was plagued with problems from the start, including numerous rewrites, delays, and cost overruns. Despite a massive marketing campaign, The Lone Ranger grossed a disappointing $260 million worldwide, well below its break-even point. Fasten your seatbelts, space cadets, because we're blasting off to Mars with Mars Needs Moms, an animated adventure that proved that even motion capture technology and the voice talents of Seth Green can't save a film from being abducted by the box office black hole. This 2011 film, based on the children's book by Berkeley Breathed, tells the story of a young boy who comes to appreciate his mother after she's kidnapped by Martians. Sounds interesting, right? Well, add in creepy motion capture animation, a predictable plot, and characters that were about as appealing as a Martian dust storm, and you've got yourself a recipe for disaster. Mars Needs Moms was a passion project for director Simon Wells, but unfortunately, his passion didn't translate into box office success. The film was a critical and commercial flop, grossing a paltry $39 million worldwide against a budget of $150 million. And there you have it, folks. 7 colossal box office failures that not only bombed but took their studios down with them. These cinematic catastrophes serve as a cautionary tale to Hollywood executives everywhere. Even the biggest stars, the most expensive special effects, and the most beloved source material can't guarantee a hit. Sometimes the stars just aren't aligned. The script is about as funny as a tax audit, and the whole thing crashes and burns in a glorious explosion of bad decisions and even worse CGI. But hey, that's showbiz, baby. It's a fickle beast, full of risks and rewards. And sometimes those risks lead to spectacular failures that become the stuff of Hollywood legend. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more fascinating stories from the world of cinema. Until next time, this is Ryan Reynolds, signing off.